Coming up on Mountain News this morning, members of a Kentucky church gather donations in order to help tornado victims in the western part of our state. And students from one Eastern Kentucky school host a donation drive to help with those relief efforts.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Well, it's almost 6 o'clock on this cold Monday morning. Good morning to you. I'm Dakota Makris, and speaking of cold weather, let's head over to Brighton with the latest on that cold weather, but some good news. It's going to warm up later today, so we're jazzed for that, but right now you better take that blanket with you.
Exactly, because it's going to be a cold forecast to start the day. But
wait, Brandon, did I just say take the blanket with you?
Well,
I meant to say the jacket with you.
It's okay. We knew what you meant. We knew what you meant. But yeah, it is going to be a cold start to the day there. But we're on the same wavelength. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you this morning. All right. We'll take a look at the forecast right now. It is chilly out there. Temperatures running in the 20s and 30s. 21 in Jonesville, 32 Pikeville and Wise. That's our range, but a lot of folks there. Actually, 21 Monticello too, but 25 London, 24 Irvin, 27 Hazard, 30 in Logan. Our Prestonsburg sensor out this morning. So you'll need a little extra coffee to get yourself going today. Maybe some max warming needed there in some areas this morning. 48 is our average high. 60 is our forecast high. 70 is our record high set back on this day in 2015. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. Well, the number of victims from Friday night's tornadoes remains unclear. This morning, officials believe scores were killed, but they're hoping the uncertainty means a lower death toll. Laura Podesta reports from Mayfield.
The total damage inflicted by Friday's tornado outbreak is still unknown.
It looks like a war. I mean, like it just looks like bombs went off.
Twisters touched down in 6 Midwestern states Friday night. The most severe damage was in Kentucky, where at least 4 tornadoes left a trail of wreckage more than 200 miles long.
Where all this rubble is a dining room.
I heard it go through. It was awful. I've never been through anything like that in my life.
Officials are struggling to determine how many people were killed and how many are missing.
I am praying that maybe original estimates of those we've lost were wrong. If so, it's going to be pretty wonderful, but it's way too early.
Here in downtown Mayfield, Kentucky, a thriving business district has been decimated. This office building unrecognizable except for a lone bookcase still standing. Throughout Kentucky, it was initially feared the death toll would exceed 100. Last night, Governor Andy Beshear said at least 50 people had died.
But I think it's going to be significantly worse than that. Remember, we're still finding bodies.
The search and rescue operation has been hampered by power and cell phone outages.
You look around and you have so many people saying, how can we help? But it's almost like, where do you begin?
At least 14 deaths have been confirmed in other states, including 6 at an Amazon building in Illinois. Laura Podesta, CBS News, Mayfield, Kentucky.
Well, Senator Rand Paul visited Bowling Green Sunday to assess the damage from the tornado. The senator, alongside his wife and various Warren County officials, traveled through Bowling Green to the areas most significantly impacted by the tornado. The senator says he and his wife are praying for those affected. Well, crews from Lexington are continuing to head out to parts of western Kentucky. Emergency agencies are being deployed to some of the hardest hit spots, like the candle factory in Mayfield. And close to 1,000 utility workers are trying to get power back on. Grayson Passmore shows us how Central Kentuckians are helping.
In disasters like this is where community is built.
17 Lexington Fire Department members join the dozens of emergency response crews from across Central Kentucky. They're working around the clock.
Several of the challenges that we face currently now is time, right? That's why we're still operating in rescue mode. So time is of the essence.
Battalion Chief Jordan Sauce says crews are mainly stationed at the hard-hit candle factory.
And it is an all hands on deck, and we will come together. We are coming together to help rebuild Kentucky.
Joining the response teams in western Kentucky, 800 Davis H. Elliott employees from Lexington and neighboring states were deployed to restore power where they can and as quickly as they can.
We've been on, large-scale power outages, with hurricanes in Florida, but nothing like this. We constantly, we work routinely for utilities, kind of building their system up, making it so it can sustain storms, but nothing of the magnitude like this.
Director of Distributions Jake Green says this one just hits too close to home.
Someone that we work with here, their grandparents lost their house. And fortunately, they're okay. But, you know, when events happen in Kentucky, we routinely serve the areas that we're helping right now. So we know the community, and it makes it that much more challenging, but that much more important.
They'll be on the ground helping their own for weeks to come. In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Well, Green says they'll have to completely rebuild power grids in many areas. He says they'll work on building temporary structures to get the power back on, but it may take months to get the power system back to where it used to be. Members of Restoration Ministries in Laurel County came together during the weekend for those affected by the tornadoes in western Kentucky. In partnership with Center Point Church in Bowling Green, the organization received a variety of donations from the community. Now they piled everything in a large U-Haul and drove to the church to drop them off. Youth Pastor Austin Brown says they plan to do it again.
We are going to continue to take trucks loads, volunteer our time, whatever they need. We're going to try to be the hands and feet of Jesus and help them in anything that they would need.
Well, Brown says they are still accepting donations. Well, for more information on what to bring, you can go on their Facebook page. Well, in Letcher County, a few eastern Kentucky high school students knew they wanted to come together to help those impacted by the tornado in any way they could. WYMT's Alyssa Williams spoke to several Letcher County Central students on a disaster relief project they will be hosting this week.
After seeing the destruction in western Kentucky following the tornado Friday, Letcher County Central senior Olivia Frazier knew she wanted to help those affected.
So when you see devastating images like that, it's kind of like an instinct to want to help, because that's what we do in the mountains. We help each other.
Frazier reached out to several friends and the school's National Honor Society sponsor, Johnette Collins, to come up with a plan.
They wanted to do this, and there was no way I was going to say no. I knew people needed help, so I was like, yes, let's go with this.
Frazier, Collins, and the other members of the school's National Honor Society came together to plan a donation drive for the Western Kentuckians in need.
Whether it's Western Kentucky, Northern Kentucky, we're still Kentuckians, and we're gonna get together and help, and it's really nice to be able to be this beacon of light in such a terrible time.
The group's donation drive will kick off Monday at Letcher County Central. They will be accepting non-perishable food, hygiene and self-care items, as well as baby care and pet supplies.
When we have a tragedy like this, county lines and party lines just melt away, and our natural goodness as Kentuckians takes over.
Coming together to help our neighbors in western Kentucky. In Whitesburg, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
The LCC National Honor Society's donation drive runs until Friday. People are encouraged to bring donation items to the front of the office during school hours. Well, an Eastern Kentucky fire chief has died. City of Manchester Fire Department officials say Big Creek Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department Chief Elmer Sparks died. The Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department sent us a statement saying in part, quote, "We're heartbroken to lose our fearless leader, a family member. He was not only serving his community, he was a friend to all," end quote. Now the department will hold a candlelight vigil in his honor Tuesday night. Police are investigating a traffic death which happened south of London early Sunday morning. 32-year-old Chadwick Smith of War Branch was pronounced dead at the scene after police say he was hit by a truck driving northbound on US 25. Smith was, quote, in the unlit roadway in the northbound travel lane, a news release said. Roger Roark of London was driving the truck that hit Smith. Police say Roark had no injuries.
6:07 here on this Monday morning, and a cold start to the new working school week out there, the last school week for a lot of kids before the Christmas break. Let's take a look and see what's going on across the region on our camera network. Norton over at US 23, not too bad this morning. A little bit of traffic rolling around over that way. Temperature still on the cool side from Monticello and Jonesville at 21 to 32 in Pikeville and Wise. That's our range this morning. A lot of folks in the mid to upper 20s and low 30s out there. We're heading towards 60 this afternoon under mostly sunny skies. That'll be a nice change of pace after all the rain we had this weekend, showers and storms that have affected many across our state. High pressure is building in for a couple of days, which means mild temperatures, but another front will be on the way by the end of this week, and we will keep you posted on that as it gets closer. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. The time is 6:08. Well, more news is on the way when we come back. The U.S. sees some grim numbers as the homicide rate in the nation increases. More on that coming up next.